And it looked like the Indiana Fever front office is in serious trouble for revealing some major information. Guys, how come I'm not seeing no scouts, bro? Where the scouting department? Do they even have a scouting department? You mean to tell me, as I look through this thing right here, y'all done made all them... Well, y'all done made... Hold on. You lied to me.
Herb Simon thought he could build a championship team and simply let the pieces fall into place. Empty promises, questionable signings, and still no winning culture. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, the undeniable star and face of the WNBA, can only watch the cracks in the Fever organization widen.
This is the team that has blown double-digit leads all season long. We just lost to the goddamn Washington Mystics. Terrible, man. That is a bad basketball team. They got two young, rising stars. They're rookies. We got dominated by Sonia Citron and Kiki Ariafin. They was just taking math class and sociology and chemistry 3 months ago. And they came out there and dominated us.
The fans pay premium prices just to catch glimpses of her brilliance, yet the team around her is nowhere near ready to compete at the level she demands. The so-called Caitlin Clark effect is alive and well, but unfortunately, the Fever's management under Simon's ownership is showing serious signs of neglect and mismanagement.
I mean, the bottom line, though, is Caitlin Clark is missing, and that is showing, and I think everybody is missing her, including myself. She has carved out this really big niche in the WNBA. A lot of fans have come to see her, and she unfortunately has just been plagued with injury after injury, and the Indiana Fever have had to try to tread water or keep afloat, and fans are trying not to lose hope until and if she returns, because Caitlin Clark is the reason that a lot of people, myself included, are just so drawn to the WNBA, so drawn to her play style. And I gotta say, I really feel for the rest of the team.
Herb Simon is back to his old tricks, and just like that, every executive decision in the Indiana Fever universe has been replaced by a let them figure it out themselves thermometer. He breathes near his checkbook, and the arena sells out before he finishes counting the profits. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ownership coin, and by coin, we mean that monopoly money you get when rich people think they can buy success without effort, we've got a franchise desperately hoping their star player would carry the entire organization on her back. Spoiler alert, she can't do it alone.
Are in the process of building a $78 million practice facility. The Indiana Fever consistently draw over 16,000 fans to their home games. The Indiana Fever, amongst the top franchises in the league when it comes to merchandise sales. The Indiana Fever, now you know, marketing campaign. Kelly Krauskopf saying she wants to be the Apple of the WNBA. You would think, after all of these accolades, after all of the speculation, after all of the now you know, you'd think that we'd have a scouting department, right?
Herb Simon walked into the Caitlin Clark era with the swagger of someone expecting instant success, only to realize he'd been rolling back investment in the very infrastructure needed to support a championship team. And the best part? They were practically throwing away opportunities with both hands. You could have built a world-class scouting department, hired elite coaching staff, and surrounded Caitlin with championship-caliber players, and they still chose to wing it with phone-a-friend scouting and hope for the best roster construction.
You lied to me. I think they merchandise sales was up 300%. Y'all done made all them millions off CC Effect. And y'all ain't hired no damn scouts. Caitlin's in deep trouble. Oh, it's looking real spooky. You mean to tell me y'all done made all the millions, bro, sold all them damn jerseys, and y'all do not have a scouting department? What the fuck? You mean to tell me? Hold on. Are you serious right now?
Herb Simon paid gladly for practice facilities while completely ignoring the human infrastructure needed to identify talent. Some executives didn't even know who they were signing. They just stood outside the agent meetings like it was basketball Woodstock, hoping to hear the bounce of competent decision-making through the concrete.
This Lambert chick, man. You're always picking up these randoms, dog. Like they're going to Walmart. Hey, yo, can you play? All right, I got you. Go on a team. Like, come on, man. I'm sick of these players. We're at the point where you just need a body. But I just hope she puts a better performance than Sims did, because Sims was god-awful. Sims looked like she never played basketball before. She was horrible. Somehow we have Turner on the team. I don't get it. But yeah, this new player, I looked her up. Averaged 6.8 in college. Not impressive, man. I think she's just a body.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. The Fever scouting department? Let's just say if you dropped a resume in their office, you'd hear it echo. The copy machine in the accounting department sounds like a war room in comparison. The Fever don't have a scouting system, they have a scouting suggestion box. Everyone else is just borrowing minutes from competent organizations. It's not just negligence, it's organizational malpractice. Herb Simon has become a cultural liability. The WNBA should be paying him hazardous duty pay for letting his franchise's potential die on his watch. Sophie Cunningham, meanwhile, is still trying to figure out why she's riding the bench when the team desperately needs her experience and energy on the court.
We lost by 1 point to them. The third quarter, they went on a 19-0 run. You hear me? Which put them up by 12. By the fourth quarter, they was up by 12 points. That's ridiculous. And then let me say this. What sense does it make for Stephanie Jigsaw White to take out Lexi and Sophie at the same time? You hear me? At the same time. Her rotations don't make no sense to me. And if it don't make sense to me, that allows me to think otherwise. She is fixing these games. The organization is in on it too as well. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, like I said, they just dragging us along to keep making money. Caitlin Clark, aka my precious CC, she ain't coming back this season.
Sophie gets starting minutes here and there, usually sandwiched between questionable rotations and a commercial for organizational dysfunction. But here's where this gets absolutely criminal. Caitlin Clark gets injured, and suddenly the Emperor has no clothes. The woman who single-handedly transformed this franchise into a relevant organization, who brought $78 million worth of attention, sold out arenas, and made the WNBA appointment television, gets hurt, and the entire house of cards collapses. Not because she wasn't incredible, not because the fans weren't loyal, but because Herb Simon and his management team built a Ferrari engine and forgot to install brakes, steering, or a transmission.
You'd think that we'd have some bodies that sole job, the sole purpose, their sole designation within this franchise is just to sit in a dark room watching hours and hours and hours of film of players overseas. You'd think at least that's what Apple would probably do, right? If Apple was running the Indiana Fever, they'd probably invest in something like that.
Look at what happened when Caitlin went down with her groin injury. This wasn't just any injury. This was the third separate injury of her season, each one a reminder that this franchise had no plan B. The Fever went from championship contenders to a team scrambling for 7-day contracts with players they'd never even scouted before. Kira Lambert signed to a 7-day deal, and head coach Stephanie White admitted she didn't even know much about the player they just brought in. That's not roster management, that's fantasy football with real consequences. Meanwhile, experienced veterans like Sophie Cunningham are watching quality minutes slip away while the coaching staff tries to piece together rotations on the fly. You've got a proven defender and clutch shooter sitting on the bench while the team leads in crucial fourth quarters. This isn't player development, it's organizational negligence dressed up as giving everyone a chance. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, Brianna Turner. Here's a player the Fever signed specifically to help with scouting and player evaluation. But wait, plot twist, the Fever don't actually have a scouting department. So they're using an active player to scout for them because they can't be bothered to hire actual professional scouts. That's like asking your Uber driver to perform heart surgery because you didn't want to pay for a real doctor.
Right, it's all the above. It's seeing film, watching clips, talking to contacts and connections. Bree and especially has been super helpful in this. She's got a lot of contacts overseas who have seen Kyra, for example, play a lot overseas. Teammates that she's had that are over there that played with her.
Now, it was at that moment right there, everybody antennas went off. She said Bree Turner actually discovered Kyra Lambert. Hold up, wait a minute. How the hell do Bree Turner discover her player? She's no scout. She's no recruiter. How the hell? She's supposed to be focusing on the season of bad she playing. But y'all got Bree Turner scouting players?
The front office situation is so dire that when pressed about their scouting process, Coach Stephanie White essentially described a system that sounds like calling your basketball-loving cousin for advice. It's all hands on deck. It's seeing film, watching clips, talking to contacts and connections, she said. Translation: we're making this up as we go because our owner didn't invest in the infrastructure needed to support a championship-level organization. Here's the most damning part of this entire Simon disaster. Caitlin Clark is carrying this organization so hard that her absence literally breaks the team. The Fever have a 10-9 record without Clark and 8-5 with her. Think about that for a second. The most transformative player in women's basketball history, a generational talent who sells out arenas and breaks television records, is being failed by an ownership group that treats professional roster construction like a hobby. The injury situation exposes everything wrong with Simon's hands-off approach. Caitlin Clark had never missed a game in her college career or rookie season. This was a player whose durability was legendary. But suddenly, in her second season, she's dealing with multiple injuries to different parts of her body. That speaks to training staff, medical protocols, and player load management, all areas where proper organizational investment makes the difference between health and breakdown.
I think that this Indiana Fever team, taking Caitlin Clark serious, taking the window that they have with Caitlin Clark as serious as they possibly can, you'd think that they would invest in some overseas scouting, right? Right. It seems as if the overseas scouting department, some YouTube highlights, some clips, and a couple phone calls with a person on the other end saying, "Trust me, bro, trust me." Hey, is she good? Trust me, bro, trust me, she's good. Oh, that's all I needed to see here. Is she good? Trust me, bro, trust me, she's good.
When Clark went down with her quad injury early in the season, the Fever should have been prepared. Instead, they scrambled. When she came back and immediately re-injured her groin, that should have been a red flag about rushing players back too quickly. When she suffered a different groin injury and missed the All-Star game that was literally being held in her home arena, that should have been a wake-up call about organizational medical protocols. But here's where it gets even worse. They're signing replacement players they know nothing about. Odyssey Sims on a 7-day contract. Okay, she has WNBA experience. But then Kira Lambert, a player who's never even played in the WNBA, gets signed to help fill gaps caused by season-ending injuries to Sydney Colson and Ari McDonald. And the head coach admits she doesn't know much about this player they just committed to. This isn't just poor planning, this is organizational malpractice. You don't wait until your house is on fire to install smoke detectors. You don't wait until your star player gets injured to develop depth. You don't wait until players suffer season-ending injuries to scout replacements.
So, Indiana Fever signs another strawberry shortcake, Lambert. Her name is Kyra Lambert. She had previous experience playing at Greece. Last time she played college was 2001, so she's a little older. Where do we get these randoms from, man? Like, come on. 5'9", strawberry shortcake. So we get another shortcake. Sims and her are about the same height. Dude, they love some shorties, man. Like, we need to get some taller players, man. At least 5'10" and above.
Sophie Cunningham is watching all of this unfold from a unique perspective. Here's a veteran player who's been in championship environments, who knows what winning organizations look like, and she's stuck in rotations that don't maximize her strengths. She's proven she can hit clutch shots, defend multiple positions, and bring the intensity needed in big moments. But instead of building around that proven production, the coaching staff is experimenting with lineups featuring players they literally just met. The coaching situation under Stephanie White has become its own disaster. Fans are openly questioning her rotations, her in-game adjustments, and her ability to maximize the talent on the roster. When you're pulling players who are hot, inserting players who haven't earned minutes, and running offensive sets that leave Caitlin Clark standing around watching, you're not coaching, you're improvising. White's defensive strategies have been particularly criticized. The Fever will build leads, then watch them evaporate because of poor defensive rotations and inadequate adjustments. They'll lose games they should win because the coaching staff can't figure out how to close out victories. And when pressed about these failures, White often deflects to officiating complaints rather than taking accountability for strategic mistakes.
Stephanie White You are supposed to be a defensive coach. We gave away almost 90 points to a team that is like 11th in the league in scoring. It's only like 13 teams. It ain't even that many teams. And they are at the bottom of the league in offense, and we let them come out there and do whatever they wanted offensively. Sonia Citron dominated our wing players. This is embarrassing. Kelsey Mitchell is not a clutch player. When the game is on the line, bro, she just gagged a wide open layup to cut the lead to 1. When the money is on the line in clutch time, you cannot rely on Kelsey Mitchell. This is embarrassing, man.
But here's the thing that should terrify every Fever fan. This isn't just about this season. Caitlin Clark is on a rookie contract, which means she's severely underpaid relative to the value she brings. This is supposed to be the window where you build around her, where you take advantage of having a superstar at a discount rate and construct a championship roster. Instead, the Fever are squandering this opportunity with organizational incompetence. The proof is in the numbers. When Clark plays, the Fever are competitive against anyone. When she sits, they struggle against teams they should beat. That's not sustainable championship construction. That's one-player dependency taken to a dangerous extreme. And it's not like the solutions are mysterious. Look at the New York Liberty, who have a dedicated scouting coordinator and consistently identify international talent that contributes immediately. Look at championship organizations that invest in infrastructure, medical staff, and player development systems. The blueprint exists. Simon just refuses to follow it.
Indiana Fever, get it done. The size we've been needing, a 6'7" tower, man. We need it because it's limited. Get her, put her in the center of the paint, man. Mentor her, whatever y'all need to do. I don't even know how to say her name, man. No disrespect to you, ma'am. But we need you over here in Indiana, man. We need a 6'7" tower because there's not a lot of y'all in the league, man. Fever, damn, man. I don't know how we gonna get it done. I don't know. But get it done, Indiana Fever. This is what we need.
The most frustrating part is that the resources are there. Simon is worth over $5 billion. The practice facility investment shows he's willing to spend money, but he's spending on the visible stuff, the buildings and the branding, while ignoring the foundational elements that actually win championships. Caitlin Clark deserves better than this organizational negligence. She deserves a front office that can identify talent before other teams do. She deserves a coaching staff that can maximize everyone's strengths, not just survive her absence. She deserves medical and training staff that can keep her healthy and extend her career. She deserves teammates who were acquired through careful evaluation, not panic signings and phone-a-friend scouting. The fans deserve better too. They're paying premium prices for tickets, buying merchandise, and investing emotionally in a team that's being held back by ownership shortcuts. They're watching a generational talent being wasted by an organization that seems more interested in counting Caitlin Clark effect profits than building around her properly.
The Fever should really consider making a trade, and I'm telling you, get rid of Brianna Turner. I don't know why she's on the team for. She's not significant to the team, so it won't hurt team chemistry. And go after Cardoso. Cardoso hates Chicago Sky. You can see it in her face. I'm telling you, you could reunite her without trading Dantes, by the way. Get Cardoso and Dantes on the same team. They got that Brazilian connection. And you can think about that connection with Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston and Camilla were both teammates at South Carolina, that Dawn Staley connection. To me, they actually would play well with each other. Think about it. You got...
The reality is simple. Herb Simon is letting the Indiana Fever sign whoever they want because he doesn't want to invest in the infrastructure needed to identify who they should want. He's allowing coaching decisions to be made without proper support systems. He's watching experienced players like Sophie Cunningham get inconsistent playing time, while inexperienced replacements get opportunities they haven't earned. From the Caitlin Clark injury situation, you can see the Indiana Fever are nowhere near as well managed as people thought. The success of 2024 masked fundamental organizational problems that are now being exposed. They're signing players trying to replace Caitlin Clark because they don't know when she will be back, and they haven't been ready for injury problems. Caitlin Clark needs a better team, a more prepared organization, and ownership that really wants to win instead of just collecting checks from her stardom. She needs an ownership group that won't settle for good enough when championship level is within reach. The clock is ticking on this opportunity. Caitlin Clark won't be on a rookie contract forever. The attention she's brought to the league won't last if the on-court product doesn't deliver. And the fans who are investing their time, money, and emotional energy into this team won't stick around if organizational incompetence continues to waste obvious talent.